He fell asleep in New Jersey before the bombs hit the ground. Broadcasting from a bomb shelter, he is the nuclear clown. We all like movies about America's favorite pastime, racism. And that brings us to Django Unchained, which is a movie that I saw. Now, I haven't seen any movies in the theaters in a really long time due to that whole restraining order thing. But I managed to go out for the afternoon and check this film out. Now, I've said this before on my podcast, which you should really listen to if you... That sucks, never mind. But I've said this before. Quentin Tarantino is possibly the most annoying human being on the face of the planet besides myself. But the guy makes good movies. You gotta give him that. I give the obnoxious devil his due. And the vast majority of the Quentin Tarantino movies I have seen, while I have not liked them all, I've liked, for the most part. Really liked Kill Bill 2, not so much a fan of the first one. I liked Inglourious Basterds, it was pretty good. So I thought, hey, Django Unchained, it seems like a bit of a different type film. It's a period piece, I guess, which harkens us back to the glory days of America, where we were stripping people of their liberties and freedoms and raping and pillaging just whatever. And I'm glad to see that so much has changed. So the movie itself... My spoiler-free review of Django Unchained. I gotta say, I did not like this movie. When it first started, I thought, hey, you know, this is pretty entertaining. This is interesting. It's got some pretty good scenes in it. I like this. But the more it went on, the more I didn't like the film. First of all, this movie is incredibly long. This movie is incredibly long, guys, and if you're not a marathon movie watcher, if you're not a power sitter like I am, you may have some trouble getting through this. And I am really kind of shocked about the reviews this film is getting. It's got an awesome percentage on the Rotten Tomatoes site. Pretty much all the reviews I've read or seen for it have been positive, and I really did not like this movie too much. And I'm going to get to this more in my kind of spoiler-laden review, but as an overall review of the film, I have to say, without giving anything away, for a movie this incredibly long, I find it absolutely unbelievable, with a capital U, that the characters are so cardboard cutout and shallow. Now, there are some great performances in this film. Leonardo DiCaprio is fantastic. Samuel L. Jackson is in it, being Samuel L. Jackson. We all know, I mean, look, there should be a law where you can only be in X amount of movies per year. There is such a thing as overexposure. Liam Neeson and Samuel L. Jackson, I'm speaking directly at your face. Good performances, some. But all in all, for a film this long, to have really so little to it, I gotta say I was not impressed. I did not like Django Unchained, really. Starting out, I thought I was going to like it. I thought it was going to be good. But the longer it went on, the longer I didn't like it. Which leads me to my spoiling crap all over the place type of review. Django Unchained is a very kind of simple revenge story, alright? It's about a slave, Jamie Foxx, who gets separated from his wife and goes on a mad quest for vengeance with this weirdo German fella to go find her. Now, I don't know the German guy's the German guy's actor. I don't know the actor's name who played the German guy because, well, let's be honest, I don't do a whole lot of research for these videos. But he was very, very good in his part. And I thought it was a shame that they didn't really kind of flesh him out a little bit more. Watching this movie, I felt like Django Unchained was another director doing a cover version, like a Kiss cover band doing a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like somebody said, hey, you like Quentin Tarantino, right? Yeah, he's great. He's my idol. I want to make movies just like him. Okay, here's a budget. Here's a cast. Here's Samuel L. Jackson. Make a Quentin Tarantino movie. And the guy said, I'm on it, boss. And we get this. It is like a parody formula of Quentin Tarantino movies. And I honestly did not like it. My main problem with this film is the characters lack depth. They really do. Leonardo DiCaprio is a bad white guy who owns a plantation and likes to see black people fight, and he's a bad dude, right? Jamie Foxx is a slave with vengeance on his mind. German guy is a quirky German guy who's quirky. And Django's wife is Django's wife. Now, this would be fine. I'm not saying that every movie has to be The Godfather with character development and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, if you could tell me a simple story and have it efficiently done in a manageable time period, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to really like your movie. And I'm talking to Dredd. Exactly. Judge Dredd, the new one, was an hour and a half. There was not a lot of character development. You didn't see flashbacks of Judge Dredd's, abusive childhood or any of that nonsense. It was a straight up hour and a half long action movie where the bad guys were bad, the good guys were good, and really you don't have to think too much about it. Sit back, enjoy yourself. I have no problems with movies like that. If Judge Dredd 2012 was 3 hours long, then I'd have a problem with it. When you get into the 2 hour, 50-minute range, you kind of do have to be The Godfather at this point. And Django Unchained, for really what it gives you, for the length of the film, and really what it gives you as far as character development and what these characters are about, it's tremendously simplified. And again, nothing wrong with that. But you can cram that into an hour and 45 minutes. There's no reason for this movie to be so long. I expected it to be long. I also expected there to be some, background into the characters. And you do get it to an extent. A flashback here or there. But at the end of the day, you have Django, pissed off slave who's going to kill a bunch of people. And you have weird German guy who's quirky weird German guy. I would like to know more about these characters. And you certainly have enough time to give me that, don't you? But instead, we get a whole lot of violence. And I'm not even saying that I didn't like the movie because of the violence or the racism. Look, I understand it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. You're going to have guys getting their heads blown off. You're going to have gratuitous swearing. You're going to have gratuitous offensive things said. It's not that I was in any way offended by this movie or the subject matter. I understand. It's set during a time where this stuff was common, so it's going to be present. I don't have an issue with that. Well, I have an issue with the whole slavery thing, obviously. That's not that great. But I'm talking about as far as the presentation of the film. I'm not just saying I was remarkably offended by this movie, because I wasn't. I was remarkably offended that this movie was 3 hours. That's what offended me more than the 900 gratuitous racial slurs that were bandied about during it. I'm not going to say all bad things about Django Unchained, because there were some fantastic performances. Let me just say Leonardo DiCaprio is fucking astonishing. He is an amazing, amazing actor. He's always been really, really quite good. And you know what? I think Leonardo DiCaprio would make a really good Joker, by the way. I think if they did like a kind of gay, artsy Joker, Leonardo DiCaprio would be the man for that. I think he would be really, really good in a kind of different take on the character. He does very well. Jamie Foxx, however, I was disappointed in this film. Jamie Foxx is better than this movie. Jamie Foxx is a better actor than this movie. When he played Ray Charles, it was awesome. That was a really good movie. I liked that quite a bit. And this was a very cardboard cutout. I'm going to talk like this. I'm going to talk like in the grizzled, like badass voice for the whole movie. And it's just, there's nothing there. Now, I know this movie is based on the old 70s film, which was just like a vengeful tale. But I'm willing to bet that movie wasn't 3 hours long. I'm just, I know nothing about that film, but I'm just willing to bet it wasn't that long. At the end of the day, if you give me something this lengthy, I need you to fill it with a lot of stuff. When I go to a deli and order a 7-foot sub just for myself, because I'm gross like that, and it's just bread and there's no meat in it, or, fish or live eel, I'm going to complain. And I'm going to flip over a few tables, and I'm going to slash some tires, is what I'm saying, okay? And especially if it takes you 3 hours to make the fucking thing. I don't want to harp on the time aspect of this film, which is by far my biggest gripe. But if you look at the plot, it is so simple, and it is so bare bones, baseline, point A to point B, as far as the storyline goes. there is no reason it has to take this huge roundabout way to go there. I was amazed when watching this movie with the time they had, the shortcuts they took. Django goes from being a recently freed man who had no idea what a bounty hunter was. In the course of a montage, a Rocky montage, he becomes Boba Fett. And you know what? When you have time like this to develop stuff, I'll bring up an example. The Batman Begins, right? They have a lot of ground to cover in Batman Begins. Batman Begins is like, what, about the same length as this movie. They have to throw in the origin, they have to throw in bad guys, a lot of shit's going down. But they still manage to squeeze in there Bruce Wayne turning into Batman, kind of going through the steps and fucking up. They with the scene where he has like the ski mask on and he tries to sneak up on Commissioner Gordon and he goes out the window and he falls down. You don't have to give me much. You just have to show me that there is some kind of progression here, especially, again, if you have 3 hours to do so. And Django Unchained is just like, nah, all right, he picks up a rifle, boom, headshot on a guy riding a horse. He's a natural. He's just the best. He's just a kick-ass dude. That's all we got. 3 hours. I can't be into that. I can't really be into that at all. And the German fellow did a very good performance, and I liked him as a character. And once again, it would have been really nice to find out some more about him and to maybe go back into his past and have these characters more fleshed out. When it's all said and done, Django Unchained has 3 characters. Django, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, whose name I forget, and the German guy, whose name I don't understand. I don't know anything. He's a dentist or something, I don't know. And for just having 3 characters and 3 hours to tell me about these people, the movie doesn't. And a couple of weak flashbacks of Jamie Foxx isn't going to do it. I'm sorry. It's just really, really not going to do that. So here's the plot of Django Unchained, right? Freed slave, bounty hunter guy, comes to him and says, you know what these guys I'm looking for look like? I don't. Can you help me? And I'll let you go free. And Django says, I'll help you if you help me get my wife. Which kind of doesn't make any sense. Because if the German guy says, all right, I'll make you a deal. If you help me out capturing these guys, I'll let you go and you can have your freedom. That's what we call a bargain. If you go to, I don't know, let's use something I know, like Kentucky Fried Chicken. If I pull up to KFC and I say, excuse me, good sir, I'd like 90 baked potatoes, please. And they say, all right, well, we have a special, Dave. If you get 90 baked potatoes, you get 10 for free. And I say, okay, great. I'll take 90 baked potatoes and give me 10 for free and also give me the keys to your automobile. You're getting a deal, man. He's trying to hook you up. Don't then be like, all right, now you got to help me. Wait a minute. I give you your freedom. You help me. That's a trade, but now I help you with the thing. And, you know, the German guy's just a nice guy, and he wants to see Django and his wife reunited. I understand that. But it just seemed like they could have handled this very simple story better. Because they track her down, and she's being held at Leonardo DiCaprio's ranch. And Jamie Foxx, in a voice filled with dread and fear, says, "There's no slave alive who hasn't heard of that place," which makes you believe, wow, this is a bad fellow. And we meet Leonardo DiCaprio, and he does an excellent performance. Here's my problem, right? Django finds out that his wife is there, and this guy is like the Meraxas of Keld of slave owners, right? He's supposed to be this is supposed to be hell on earth, right? Where he treats his slaves particularly cruel, even in this cruel time. Okay, I'm with you on that. But they get there, and Django's wife tried to escape or something. So they put her in like an iron box or something overnight, and, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio's like, okay, bring her out and clean her up. So they take her out of this box, and she's all, you know, messed up. And Jamie Foxx is losing his mind because that's his wife, and he's trying to play it off like it's not his wife, but it really is. And the inner turmoil, you know, he wants to just kill everyone, but he can't because they gotta try to finesse this, right? So they take Jamie Foxx's wife, and they give her a bath, and they put her in nice clothes, and she's fine. And she comes out, and she's, I'm all right. I was in a box for a couple of days. It's cool. I'm good. You know, just a little Just got dishpan hands, that's all. And if you're going to really kind of twist the knife, if you're going to really pull emotion from an audience, you have to say, okay, Leonardo DiCaprio, this character is supposed to be downright demonic, and you're supposed to see Django's wife go through hell, and you're supposed, so it makes their reunion that much sweeter, right? And you don't. There's a scene where they're sitting around a table, and Leonardo DiCaprio is like, bring her out, show them your back, show them your back. And, you know, Django, like, wants to kill everyone, but he can't. So she takes off she turns around, takes off her top, and I'm thinking, all right, you know, this is a really good chance to show what she's been going through and to make her a sympathetic character. So that in the end, when they finally do reunite, it's all that more sweet, right? But she pulls down her shirt, shows him her back, and she's got these, like, little crisp, I mean, like, it looks like little tattoos. Like, hey, look, it's a little, like, it's a decoration. And look, it's wings. It's little flowery wings. And I think they really missed a chance to emotionally get the audience, you know? And I just thought it came off as really weak. And they could have really made Leonardo DiCaprio that bad. A perfect example from a Quentin Tarantino movie is Kill Bill. The Kill Bill, the two movies there that you got. You see the absolute hell that the main character goes through to only to find out that her kid is still alive and to get her daughter back and this, that, and the other thing. And through the whole movies, through both movies, she is going through utter and complete hell. So that at the end, when she finally wins, when she finally kills Bill and gets the kid, you say, ha, that was good, because you feel for her, right? You're with her. In Django Unchained, there's nothing really to latch on to there. It's just like, well, I want vengeance. I want to find my wife, and I'm going to have a lot of gory action scenes and blow people's heads all over the place, and that's just how it's going to be. And it doesn't really grab me. I also have a problem with their big plan to free Django's wife. Django says, well, I'm going to go in there with my guns and I'm going to kill a whole lot of people and walk out with my wife. And the German guy says, dude, you can't possibly do that. That's just not how things work. He's got way too many people to make this a straight up gunfight. What happens? It turns into a straight up gunfight, and of course Django wins. And of course he's by himself, so really he could have just went in there and shot everybody and left. But anyway, here's their plan. Here's their big master plan. They're going to go to Leonardo DiCaprio. They're going to say, we want to buy one of your slaves for a ridiculous amount of money. I believe it was like $12,000. And Leonardo DiCaprio is going to sell them the one slave for $12,000. And then they're just going to say, oh, and by the way, can you throw in the girl too? This went right over my big, enormous, bald head, because I don't understand the logic there. If they would have just went to him and said, we'd like to buy one of your slaves. Could we have the girl? We'll give you $12,000. Thanks, bye. Pretty sure Leonardo DiCaprio would have done it. But they go through this big charade. And for what? I still don't understand the plan. They're going to buy a slave for $12,000 and hope he throws in the girl? What if he doesn't? Do they even have the $12,000? To put up as a front? Like, I don't understand. Let's assume everything goes to plan, and of course it doesn't, and you know, Jamie Foxx has to kill his way out. But I don't see the logic in this plan. It's so fragmented and silly and goofy to me. You know where she is. I don't know why they had to bring Django in the first place. Now you'll say, well, Dave, they needed to bring Django so he could say, yeah, that's my wife. But Django's wife's name was Brunhilde, and she spoke German. I'm pretty willing to guess not too many slaves in the South were named Brunhilde and spoke German. So if they found a slave named Brunhilde who spoke German, 9 out of 10 doctors will agree that's probably who you're looking for. So I have no idea why they even had to bring Django to begin with on their little plan to do this. I don't know why the German guy could have just went, bought her, here you go, Django. Thanks for being a friend. Goodbye. I don't know. But they go on this big, long charade. They just have this big, involved story. The movie just goes on. And I mean, this movie dragged on like Lord of the Rings level. Are we fucking done yet? I don't know, man. I don't get it. So many people are raving about this movie, and I just don't see it. I thought it was really a chore to sit through. Started out fun, and I was liking it at the beginning, but after a while, it was like, are we done here? I mean, this... Such a simple story. Did not need to be this long. Their whole plan at the end, I still don't understand. Somebody please try to explain this to me, because it does not make any sense to me. There are 1,000 other ways they could have done this, which would have been easier. And also, you have your big bad German bounty hunter, right? Who's killing people in the streets. He's just, telling Django, hey, Django's got a rifle trained on a guy, Django's first bounty. And it's a guy, and he's plowing a field with his son. But there's a bounty out for the guy. So Django has the rifle trained on the guy, and he's like, I can't do it. He's with his son. He's with his boy. You know, I can't kill the kid's father right in front of him. And the German guy goes, no, it's easy. Just kill him. And Django goes, oh, all right. And they kill him right in front of the guy's father. And it's no big deal for the German guy because it's sort of his business. Yet at the end, seeing the little crisscross whip marks on on Django's wife's back freaks him out so bad, and he just has all these flashbacks of these horrible things he's seen. Where's the tough German guy who's killing people left and right, blowing people's heads off without a care? All of a sudden, he's a bleeding heart liberal. He's hugging trees. He's doing the Macarena. I don't even know what that has to do with anything. I just thought it sounded right. Yeah, but that was just odd. So he kills Leonardo DiCaprio. All he had to do, all right, here, this drove me crazy. They make the deal, right? They are selling the Django's wife. Leonardo DiCaprio finds out that that's who they really want, so he says, "Okay, 12,000 for the girl if that's who you really want," and they agree. Okay, so pay the man, get Django's wife, and roll me my credits, please. But no, they don't do that. Because all the guy has to do, Leonardo DiCaprio is like, where I come from in the South, we shake hands after we steal somebody's liberty and destroy human beings. And the German guy's like, I won't shake your hand, dude. You're a bad fellow. You don't kill fathers in front of their sons in the coldest blood humanly possible. So Leonardo DiCaprio's like, no, dude, seriously, I insist. Shake my fucking hand. And then that's it. You pay me the money, get the girl, bye, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. And the German guy won't shake his hand, so he ends up killing him. And then they kill the German guy. And then Django has to fight his way out anyway. So if Django's going to fight his way out anyway... Alright, so the German guy says, we can't fight our way in, there's too many people. So the German guy devises a plan where they can get her without fighting through his legion of white supermen, right? And then it's that same German guy who told Django he can't fight his way out, who makes Django fight his way out by killing Leonardo. It's just, I don't understand the motivations. I don't understand why. I don't understand his plan. I don't understand why he did that. Shake his hand. All right, so you hate him. But you came for the girl, you came for Django's wife, shake his fucking hand, you never have to see him again. Or shake his hand, leave with the girl, come back later and kill him. There's a billion ways this can work. And they picked the one that makes no sense. I don't understand it. So, just gratuitous blowing up people's balls, just catching on fire and flying all over the world, and just gallons of blood flowing everywhere. I mean, that shit doesn't bother me. I don't care about that. Just the gratuitous violence, whatever. But guys... 3 hours, you got to give me more than that. You have to. I just thought this movie was all over the place, and I really don't understand the hype. It's like getting Best Picture nominations for Golden Globes and shit. I mean, God, really? Maybe it's me. I don't know. Django Unchained, I was not into it. I was not into it at all, really. Once it just kept dragging on and on and on, like this review. Well, like all of them, really, because I get on here and I can't stop talking. I can't stop using my mouth. If I'm not talking, I'm eating, I'm doing something. Now, I would be remiss if I did not mention that there are some downright hysterical parts of this movie. Um, Don Johnson was really funny in this movie. The whole part with the guys with the hoods, that was awesome. There are some really good parts in this movie, and it is really a shame that they didn't use their time more wisely to kind of set up these characters more. You have a very basic story with very basic characters and a minimal amount at that. You have time to kind of give these people more life, and I think it's a shame that they didn't, because this is a movie that I think could be good. It could be something that I would like if they just handled it a little bit differently. It just seemed like a lot of filler, a long roundabout way to go to tell a very simple story, and besides a few really funny parts here and there, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I just really didn't like it. So, that is my review of Django Unchained.